Tourist visits to Bali increased, reaching more than 2.8 million by August, dominated by Australia, of course. And Satpol PP Tourism introduces tourism dogs. Wow, wow. Stay tuned for details on these and other stories. Selamat siang. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is October 1st, 2024. Yes, it's October, and my name is Bruce. Okay, and what about numbers? Now, this story, and this has been in a number of different news sources here in Indonesia, and it's slightly different from one that I saw in another news source that had a higher number of people. Why is that? Who knows? Although it may be because I think this one stops at August, and another one that I saw included August. But I may be wrong. Who knows? Wouldn't be the first time. Tourist visits to Bali increased, reaching more than 2.8 million in August, dominated by Australia. And by the way, this channel is dominated by Australia too. About 47% of the people that watch this channel are from Australia. The majority of those are people 65 and older, so this is an old person's channel. The number of tourist visits to Bali continues to increase, dominated by tourists from Australia. The increase in the number of visits has an impact on the hotel occupancy rate in Bali, and it's hoped that the number of tourists will continue to increase in accordance with the set target. Up to August 2024, the number of foreign tourist visits reached 2,897,400 people. Australian visits, 1,028,951. Next, India, 347,469. China, 326,431. Great Britain, 202,856. South Korea, 192,728. Wow, that's surprising. The U.S., 181,748. France, 181,224. Malaysia, 159,675. Singapore, 140,969. And Germany with 135,354. Where are the Russians? Currently, the number of foreign tourist visits has exceeded 3 million. However, we hope that the number of visits will continue to increase until the end of the year, according to Deputy Chairman of the Indonesia Hotel and Restaurant Association, PHRI, in Bali. That's Pak Surabaya. He said that the Ministry of Tourism is targeting 14 million tourists, foreign tourists, to Indonesia, with a target Bali, 7 million. He said, I'm optimistic that the number of foreign tourists can reach more than 6 million, especially with direct flights from Moscow. To increase the number of visits, there needs to be an increase in direct flights other than from Moscow, although currently there are 39 direct flights to Bali. Pak Surabaya also emphasized the hope that direct flights from European countries can be realized soon, while mentioning that the hotel occupancy rate in Bali is currently at an average of 70 to 80%. 70 to 80%, pretty good. And there's still the push to bring in more and more and more people. Okay, and a feel-good story, a happy story. Satpol PP Tourism introduces tourism dogs for all you dog lovers. Bali Tourism Civil Service Police, Satpol PP, introduced 5 local Balinese dogs who became ambassadors and partners while serving as tourism dogs at the 2024 World Rabies Day event with the theme Breaking Rabies Boundaries. This was held in Sanur on Sunday. Head of Investigation and Investigation Section of the Law Enforcement Sector of the Bali Province Satpol PP, Wayan Anggara, said that in addition to presenting personnel with unique uniforms of short pants and wearing jungle hats, the formation of the Special Tourism Satpol PP is part of an effort to realize quality tourism in Bali. Every tourist destination in the world must have tourism police, and Bali, as a global destination, must also have these same efforts, but with a more innovative approach. This program covers various aspects such as regulation, supervision, training, infrastructure, promotion, to conservation and collaboration with various parties. Satpol PP Tourism serves as a spearhead in terms of supervision, including socialization to tourists, that the rules must be followed while they're here in Bali. The Bali Tourism Satpol PP is different from tourism police in other places because of the presence of 5 local Balinese dogs as ambassadors in each of their duties. 4 are Kintamani dogs, while 1 is a Balinese street dog. These dogs have been specially trained since October 2023 to accompany the Tourism Satpol PP in socializing at various tourist destinations. These dogs not only act as friendly companions for tourists, but also serve as educational tools regarding animal welfare. We want to educate tourists and local communities about the importance of vaccination, rabies, parvovirus, and animal welfare. He explained that the Kintamani dog was chosen because it's considered to represent Bali and is known to be intelligent and adaptable. These dogs were obtained from a breeding ground in Bali where they were 3 months old. Then they were raised and specially trained so that they could serve as companions to the Satpol PP. He said, "We want to show that the Kintamani dog as a local Balinese breed can be as intelligent and obedient as other breeds of dogs. They can learn quickly and socialize well." He said this program has received positive response from tourists, both domestic and international. I bet I'd love to meet the dogs. Tourists who meet these dogs were impressed by the unique approach used by Bali Satpol PP. Currently, the Satpol PP tourism team, together with Tourism Dog, have visited several popular tourist destinations such as Uluwatu, Tanah Lot, Baratan Lake, Gunung Kawi, Tirta Umpul, and various beaches. We hope the presence of these dogs will not only attract the attention of tourists, but also encourage dog owners in Bali and tourists to be good owners in caring for their pets. The number of dogs owned by Satpol PP Tourism is currently said to be at the maximum and will not be added to. But his party hopes that this program will be adopted by other regencies and cities in Bali in the future to support tourism in their respective regions. And there's been a lot of news in the last few days about, well, what's been called a riot down in the south because of people from Sumba. And I'm not going to go through the whole story on that, but just to give you a summary, a guy from Sumba who is here working on a construction project and was drunk, was driving his motorcycle around. Local residents told him to stop it, to cool it, and he got upset and he got into a confrontation with the local people, got back on his bike, drove out, got some friends who came back with pipes and other kinds of weapons and got into it. Local people, and they rang the bell, the gong, and everybody came, and there was a massive confrontation in the streets and lots of videos on social media about this. Eventually, the people from Sumba were beat up pretty badly, and they are in police custody now. And so this story is related to that. Series of Sumbanese cases in Bali. Head of IKB Flobamora, Bali, speaks. The general chairperson of the Flobamora, Flores Sumba, Timor, and Alor Extended Family Association, that's the IKB of Bali Province, spoke out recently regarding a series of cases of violence and disturbing behavior that disrupted the security, comfort, and order of society that was carried out by Sumba residents. According to him, Flobamora, Bali, has intervened by providing guidance, appeals, and direct socialization. However, as the case drags on, he said the state needs to play a role through cooperation between stakeholders in handling the flow of Sumba residents to Bali. Official cooperation is needed regarding the resolution of this problem by the Bali provincial government and the NTT government, as well as the Bali police and the NTT police, said Billy when contacted. Billy is the head of this. Flobamora Bali always and routinely provides guidance to Project Huts, but in fact appeals alone are not enough, so the role of the state is needed now, he said. Billy said the flow of urbanization of project workers from Sumba seemed unstoppable entering urban areas in Bali such as Denpasar and Badung, so that control from the government was needed. Because the flow of project workers from Sumba continues to come to Bali, there are so many that it's difficult to control them all. Why do they need to be controlled? When asked about the behavior of Sumba residents who tend to be light in committing violent acts, he said that this could be based on several factors such as education and the habit of solving problems in their hometowns, which are brought to the city, although he said he didn't want to generalize. That's a possibility. I don't really know for sure about this because it's a matter of character and personality of each person, he explained. Flobamora Bali also does not want to simply let go of the incidents involving migrants from NTT, which are disturbing and detrimental to many parties. Flobamora Bali encourages the formation of a special team task force in collaboration with the Bali provincial government and the NTT provincial government, as well as the police and the NTT police. In this joint task force, he said, we think about, seek, and implement alternative solutions so that we can do together to suppress or even eliminate the disturbing actions that have been happening and disturbing the comfort of the Balinese people and all of us. Flobamora Bali, with the database that we have today, is certainly ready to synergize to become one of the stakeholders in the task force in question. Flobamora Bali is working together to make the problematic NTT workforce, which is actually a productive workforce, no longer a problem but an asset that can help and contribute to the development of Bali and the Indonesian nation. Currently, it is the Flobamora Bali census year. With this census year, Flobamora Bali also wants to ensure that members are orderly, registered, and organized citizens and ready to be responsible for the actions of registered Flobamora citizens. He said, we will take care of members or residents who want to be taken care of, who want to be registered, who want to be organized, and of course, a positive image and contribution to this association. We want to ensure that no residents who are under the auspices of IKB carry out actions that are not commendable and disrupt public order in Bali. In the future, we will always check. Friends and the police can also check membership of on our website. If the person concerned is a Flobamora Bali resident, please contact us. If not, the individual responsible, he's responsible for himself. So, wow, a lot of construction workers coming in, I guess, from Sumba. So I don't know what's happening with people from Sumba, but they have been in the news recently for a number of different actions. Hopefully, this will be brought under control quickly here. And sea sediment and sea sand, right? I've been talking about this for a while. This is still an issue. Well, here is a story about the difference between sea sediment and sea sand. A closer look at differences between sea sediment and sea sand. Indonesian President Pak Jokowi recently asserted that the government does not export sea sand, but rather sea sediment. While both reside in the ocean environment, these materials possess distinct characteristics and ecological roles. The ocean floor serves as a vast repository for sedimentary materials derived from diverse sources. As reported by the journal Itera ACID, these sediments, primarily composed of rock and soil particles, accumulate through natural processes like wind, water currents, and biological activities. According to Britannica, these marine sediments can originate from diverse sources, including wind-blown particles, glacial deposits, the remains of marine life, volcanic eruptions beneath the sea, and even extraterrestrial bodies like meteorites. No alien. The sedimentation process plays a crucial role. Fine particles carried by rivers, wind, or ice eventually settle on the sea's bed, forming marine sediment deposits that can be found at various depths, from coastal zones to the deepest depths of the ocean. Sea sand, on the other hand, represents a specific type of marine sediment, defined by Presidential Decree number 33 of 2002 as mineable sand material within Indonesian waters. Beach sand arises from the erosion of land-based rock. Those eroded particles are then transported by water and deposited along the coast or on shallow seabeds. This beach sand is distinguished by its fine grain size, typically ranging from 0.55 to 2.5 millimeters, making it distinct from the coarser grains found in inland sand. Sea sand finds applications in the construction industry, utilized for lightweight bricks, wall plaster, and even as components in concrete structures. However, excessive extraction can have detrimental environmental consequences, leading to coastal abrasion and disrupting the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. Key differences between sea sediment and sea sand. Here's a breakdown of the key differences between sea sediment and sea sand. Material composition. Marine sediment encompasses a broader spectrum of materials, including mud, gravel, sand, and organic remains. Sea sand, in contrast, is a more specific type of sediment with finer and smaller grain sizes. Origin. The formation of marine sediments can be attributed to various sources, such as erosion on land, decomposition of marine organisms, chemical reactions in seawater, and even extraterrestrial dust. Sea sand primarily originates from the erosion of rocks on land, subsequently deposited by water along the coast or shallow seabed. Particle size. Sea sediment exhibits a wider range of particle sizes, encompassing everything from fine mud to large gravel. While beach sand falls within the sediment category, its particles are considerably finer. Deposition location. Marine sediments are distributed across the entire ocean floor, present in coastal zones and extending to the deepest trenches. Sea sand, on the other hand, is primarily concentrated along coastlands, shallow seabeds, river deltas, and intertidal areas. Functions in the ecosystem. Marine sediments, particularly those in the deep sea, serve as a repository for nutrients and a habitat for diverse microbial organisms. Sea sand plays a crucial role in protecting coastal ecosystems by absorbing wave energy, thereby mitigating coastal erosion. However, the ecological impact of sea sand mining cannot be overlooked. Large-scale extraction can lead to coastal abrasion, degrade the quality of the coastal environments, and disrupt the delicate balance within marine ecosystems. To address this concern, the Indonesian government has implemented strict regulations regarding sea sand export. Only natural materials accumulated on the seabed through sedimentation processes are authorized for export. The intended purpose of extracting sedimentation materials is to mitigate disruption to the marine ecosystem and shipping lanes without disrupting the environmental balance. And now some history and culture. Talking about the spice route. BRIN highlights the importance of Indonesia's maritime spice routes. Indonesia's National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, has emphasized the significance of maritime and spice routes in shaping the nation's history and identity. I used to do some lectures on this. According to Pak Burhani, head of BRIN's Social Sciences and Humanities Research Organization, he highlighted that spices were not only valuable trade commodities, but also played a crucial role in the country's social, cultural, and religious landscape. This is a timely and important moment to remind the government of the significance of maritime issues and the spice routes in Indonesia, both ethnically, religiously, and culturally. He said, "We do not know exactly when spices became a globally sought-after commodity. There are number of excellent books about this, and this is one of my favorites that I used as a reference when I was giving lectures about this on a cruise ship many years ago. And this is called Spice Islands by Ian Burnett. And, well, it's an excellent book. I imagine that you can probably get this in Ganesha Bookstore down in Ubud and, well, other bookstores in Bali if you don't want to go to that one, but Ganesha is my favorite. And this is an excellent book, and there's other books on the Spice Islands as well. And this is one of the reasons why I really love going to the Malukus. When you're there, you can see the nutmegs and the cloves. Wow, the smell is fantastic. And they have great nutmeg candies that you can buy there. Oh, wow. So good, so good, so good, so good. And it is a place I would like to get back. If the airfares drop again, that whole area in the Maluku archipelago, wow, just fascinating in terms of history. And if you like diving and snorkeling, also excellent. Great place to visit. Referencing the book, The Overseas Chinese of Southeast Asia, History, Culture, Business, by Ian Ray and Morgan Witzel, he explained that the spices from the Indonesian archipelago have been known since ancient times, are mentioned in the histories of ancient China and Egypt. And I think that I've already uploaded a video about that. I'll take a look, and if I can find it, I'll leave a comment up here or over here, whatever side it is. As part of efforts to preserve Indonesia's maritime heritage, BRIN is strengthening international research and publication collaborations related to the spice routes. BRIN has prepared a publication on spice routes that will be submitted to Springer, he said, referring to a well-known academic publishing company. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology is optimistic that spice routes will be added to UNESCO's tentative list of World Heritage Sites. It should be. I don't know why it isn't. God willing, inshallah. Next year, we can include the spice routes in the tentative World Heritage list, said Hilmar Farid, the Ministry Director General of Culture. The government has been working to secure UNESCO World Heritage status for the spice routes since 2016, actively engaging in discussions to move the proposal forward. And it should be. And some more on Indonesia's history and culture. This is such a fascinating country. And I think in an upcoming video, I'm going to do a little book review and talk about some of my favorite books that I've read and used in writing and making videos and giving lectures and go through those. So in case you're interested in reading about that, if you have an attention span longer than 60 seconds, for example, well, maybe you would like to buy some. Okay, that is it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.